saxophone break, and even Orinoco is remaining away. Hey, hey, let's welcome to the party. Hey, hey, let's welcome to the party.
I don't need it now. We're going to get the biggest stone ever.
Come on then.
It's making music!
It's not. How's it going?
I can't remember the verb.
Oh, never mind. No problem.
Yeah, sure, I can't remember all the words. People watch the Windward boys, our enemies are growing bolder. Stand to arms and use your sense of smell. Right away, I could tell trouble's brewing, all was not well. As the captain said, stand fast, me boys, I wish you all the best. He was red-eyed from the morning and he was not fully dressed. He kicked us stem to stern, I expected nothing less. You fight and run away, well, it's been that's long, isn't it? And then be flashed on another day. Empty urns are all the arms we bear. None of those souls left on the decks to mark the slaughter. We sank with rum instead of the water and light of the air. On spam and Christian aid, on the license we're gonna stray. And when it all comes round to dust again, the very man must be paid. The barber's shop quintets expenses cannot feed and pray. How's it go? What's next?
I really can't.
Some fires. No, I've forgotten it. Shit. Oh well, there you go. That's a bit of a sea shanty. Or what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. That's about it for the sea, I'm afraid. There's no chance of getting closer. We're much too far apart. There's no chance of getting nearer. I suppose that this is it, but it just can't be true. How can this be all there is when we're so far from you? They say that no man is an island, but still we're oceans away. That we'll return to one day. I saw things so rare and beautiful and things I couldn't believe. Still, there's part of me there, and I don't think it will ever leave. There's no chance of getting closer, we must be far apart. There's no chance of getting nearer, lying in the dark. Suppose that this is real, the unrelentless road. Prepare yourself for it somehow, and rise below. They say that no man is an island, but I see the sails disappear. The sun sets on the horizon, and cookies left us here.
too long, I'll sing a song to tell you about all things I found out. It'll hurt you so bad, what they never had. And they all look so sad, like they're falling out of the sky. First they tell you to know what they want you to know, but you'll never find out what this joke is about. They'll leave you outside from a spotlight you can't hide, and their fooling eyes that keep you out of the sky. Time when it seemed I could fly, but I got blown astray by the wind and the rain. Just turned around and my feet hit the ground, and I never got up there again. I remember the time when it seemed I could fly, but now I know better. I'm falling out of the sky, out of the sky. We're rubbing it.
We're off.
Right, your time's off.
Fuck off.
Now then.
Jewelry.
Walk down the old street today, past the house that we used to live in. They boarded up the windows, and it will never be the same again. Remember how we chased the ice cream man, but no matter how fast we ran, we knew that he would always stop. I wish that I could be as sure again. I was the king of the castle, but now life's just a dirty rascal. No summer days were mine, but now the weather's not so fine. But now the weather's not so fine. Popping home for lunch and crying when he left again. Now I will always miss him, because he's never coming home again. I was the king of the castle, but now life's just a dirty rascal. No summer days were mine, but now the weather's not so fine. And now the weather's not so fine. Walked away from the old street in pain, and a child's tear ran down my face. Cause home is where the heart is, but it will never be the same again. And I was the king of the castle, but now life is just a dirty rascal. No summer days were mine, but now the weather's not so fine. And now the weather's not so fine. I was the king of the castle, but now life is just a dirty rascal. No summer days were mine, but now the weather's not so fine. But now the weather's not so fine. But now the weather's not so fine.
Michael, brother! Michael, let's go, come.
Oh.
At that town.
real hard one. There were soldiers marching on the common today. They were here again this evening. They paced up and down like seabirds on the ground. Before the storm clouds gathering, I must buy whatever tin food is left on the shelves. They're testing the air raid sirens, and they filled up the blood banks and emptied the beds. The hospital and the asylum. I watched a man build a shelter in his basement today. As we stood there, idly chatting, he said, no, I don't think that they'll come. Still, he carried on building.
So cheerful, very.
Yeah. It is. Fishermen came to my village today.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
I saw my neighbours with maidens and their sons who once played in my garden alone. In the ditches and graves on the hillside. Every night on my knees I pray for someone to end our suffering, but no answer comes, just the thunder of guns. Somehow we carry on living. I can scarcely remember my old life before. Country fell madly to war.
Hey!
Oral sex. Because I didn't manage to perform oral sex all weekend. This poem is called Oral Sex.
It's all right, but the vicar opened the fucking bathroom in the bar.
Go on then, we're begging for it.
There is one thing all women lust after. You can get it in white, dark or brown. It comes in a number of sizes, but the bigger the better, I've found. It's a topic I'm well versed to speak on, so why don't you give it a twirl? No flake ever mars your enjoyment. There's a treat in store for you, girl. It's truly a galaxy of delight when you first get your tongue round the ripples and you'll revel in that sensation that does curious things to your nipples. Some women like to pick and mix. Others tell you that Belgian is best. And some like a mouthful of Turkish delight. But the smarty pants try all the rest. Whatever you choose, it's a bountiful joy. once the first urge to be sick has gone. You can keep S&Ms. I've got M&Ms. The most fun you can have with your Snickers on.
Hey!
Starts out in Wapping, there it ain't stopping, straight past parking, down through Dagenham now. To face Durham, from near Basildon. Let's see Thundersley, Attlee, Lee, or see Chalkwell, Brittlewell, Southend's the end of you. Ever wanna go to Shoebury-Ness? Take the A road, the OK road, that's the best. Go motoring on the A13. Starts out in Wapping, there it ain't stopping, straight past parking, down through Dagenham now. To Grace, Durham, from near Basildon. Let's see Dunsley, Attlee, Lee, or see Chalkwell, Brittlewell, Southend's the end of you. Ever wanna go to Shoebury-Ness? Take the A road, the OK road, that's the best. Go motoring on the A13. Go motoring on the A13. Go motoring on the A13.
Hey!
Don't despair if no one else is out there. Don't despair, 'cause you're the only one who cares. Life is a jigsaw, big crude lot of pieces. You know what the design is, but when you find more, well, our picture changes completely. It's just like a vision that you see so clearly, but no one else does. And death, dumb and blind to something that screams at your soul. But don't despair if you're the only one there. It isn't fair, and sometimes hard to bear. Don't despair if no one else is out there. Don't despair, 'cause you're the only one who cares. The only one who cares. The only one who dares.
Oh, my love, there is nothing that you're guilty of. Oh, my love, there is nothing to feel guilty for. There is nothing, there is nothing.
Nothing that you're guilty of. 'Cause they take and they take and they take and they take. Leave you all alone. Yeah, they take and they take and they take and they take. One day the stories will be gone. The only one Shine and it's cloudy and grey, and it's only the beginning of the wombling day, and you've got to do the washing up of Madame Jolie. Remember, 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 remember. Remember you're a womble. 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 Remember, remember, remember what a womble, womble, womble you are. When it's foggy on the common and you just can't see, and I wumble into you and you wumble into me, just remember we're so lucky to be wombling free. Remember, 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 remember. Remember you're a womble. 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 Remember, remember, remember what a womble, womble, womble you are.
Bringing to an end tonight's performance on 3, a showcase of just some of the music making which happened in the BBC Symphony Orchestra's Gamelan Week, a celebration of gamelan music and culture. I hope you've enjoyed it. Good night.
In today's busy world, music is everywhere, an international language that brings together cultures, ideas and people from across the globe. Advances in technology enable us to carry, listen and record music when we're on the move and wherever we are. But even with this access 24/7, nothing beats the magic of a live performance.
Real Jews, Jews, Jews. Real Jews, Jews, Jews.
Spoken word poet Leah Thorne is reciting her poem, Real Jews. She's taking part in a concert that's celebrating Jewish music and culture.
Real Jews are from Cochin. Real Jews are from Bukhara. Real Jews are from Berlin. Real Jews from Alexandria.
The concert Vessels of Sound is a collaboration between students from 3 London schools, members of the BBC's concert orchestra and musicians from the Burning Bush, a band specialising in Jewish music. It marks the end of a journey through weeks of workshops and rehearsals, during which the students and the players explored the world of Jewish music.
Well, we're all working towards one concert and we're doing different things within each school. But the connection between the 3 is they're all doing different types of Jewish music, which is a particularly good thing to do because you've got a kind of music where most of it isn't written down, and so everybody's got to improvise and work out accompaniments. So even though people who haven't really learned to read music particularly well can find their way in there by using their natural musicality. There are 2 basic kinds of music we've got in these workshops, and they come from the 2 different Jewish traditions. One of them is the Sephardic style, which is the music of the Jews who settled around the Mediterranean coast after they were expelled from Spain in the 16th century. And this is a music that's, well, to our ears now, sounds very Arabic. And the other style is the klezmer tradition, which is something that a lot of people in this country are familiar with now. An Eastern European style music where you have a clarinet leading dance tunes. It's a very instrumental part of the Jewish musical tradition.
Klezmer is Yiddish dance music, played traditionally by klezmerim, who worked in bands of 4 or 5 professional musicians. The bands emerged around the 17th century in Eastern Europe. They were led first by violin and later by clarinet. Following the mass Jewish migration from Eastern Europe to America in the late 19th century, much of the popular klezmer repertory and its distinctive performance style were lost. More recently, klezmer has enjoyed a revival, both in the United States and here in the UK. Music students at Southgate School are learning a klezmer piece for the concert. Not everyone in this group can play an instrument or read music, but the improvisational nature of klezmer allows everyone to join in.
The music which we're performing is all traditional music. In other words, it was passed down in the community orally from parent to child, and it was not traditionally written down. However, particularly after the musicians went to America, they started recording commercially. So a lot of these klezmer melodies, they wouldn't have originally had a title at all. But the guys got into the studio in New York, and the producer said, well, it's got to have a name. And said, okay, call it Abie's Bulgar, you know, and that's why they tend to have names like Abie's Bulgar.
Many of these recordings are held in a collection at the Jewish Music Institute in London. Some of the records date right back to the 1920s, but the origins of the music stem from the heart of the Jewish community, the synagogue.
The cantor is the person who sings the religious prayers in the synagogue, and they sing in a really haunting way. It's incredibly plaintive and sad and melancholy, because it's all wrapped up in how the Jews have seen themselves as this wandering race for many, many centuries, and I think that comes through in their music and certainly in the cantor singing style. This style of cantorial singing has gone on to influence the different kinds of Jewish music that you find around the world, including the music of Eastern Europe and the Sephardic music. The cantor will use a trill in their music, and that can be translated on fiddle to make it sound like the cantor singing. It's simply done by playing a note and then tagging on a sort of almost like a harmonic note at the end of it. So it's something like this. And just speeding up the bow, and you get this lovely note followed by this.
Students at Southgate School are gearing up for their performance at the concert. So how do they feel about the prospect of playing klezmer music?
My name is Kumar Edmund and I'm 15.
Yeah, it's nice to explore different backgrounds because it gets boring if you do the same thing over and over again. But with klezmer music, it's nice because it's difficult and it's challenging. Depends on what instrument you play. It's got different, you don't always have to play exactly what they write. You can improvise, say you get lost, and you can just improvise as long as it sounds right. As I'm a bass player, they just give me the chords, and sometimes they give me the whole piece with notes and stuff, but usually I'm just improvising on whatever I like, really.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm Frances Hill, I'm 14 years old. I'm not Jewish, so it doesn't really apply to me, but it's just really interesting learning about other cultures and experiencing their music. The professional musicians help you so much because they do this for a living, so they can just help you if you're stuck on a rhythm, or they can show you how to do something better or how it could be different.
F major. You always get
Make this look easy.
With classical music, it's all notated, it's all there for you. And with the stuff we've been doing, they give you the notes to start off with, but then you can muck around with it, you can start improvising. As long as you stick to the scale and what sounds right with the rest of the piece, you can just have so much fun with it.
It's going to be worrying, you've got all those kids around you, and then if you mess up, then it's not only your school that's going to know about it, it's going to be everybody else. So I just have to prepare myself, make sure I know the piece and everything.
Real Jews wear Stars of David. Real Jews wear Mogan Davids. Real Jews go Good Shabbos. Real Jews go Shabbat Shalom.
Klezmer music's popularity continues today, having survived the Jewish migration across the continents. Another Jewish music tradition from Eastern Europe has also survived. This is music from the Orthodox Jewish sect, the Hasidim.
The Hasidic Jews are a religious movement who began in 18th century Poland. And the nature of Hasidism is that it's a mystical movement. What they were trying to do is get away from a religion based on the text, and they wanted a direct experience of the divine. Hasidic melodies have got a specific religious purpose. The melody begins, it's intended to create a certain state of contemplation or religious ecstasy, if you like, and then it brings you back down again. It's actually meant to have a shape. And there are lots and lots of Hasidic melodies which are usually sung on syllables without words. Sometimes also they can be played on instruments. It's a long tradition among the professional klezmer musicians of taking these melodies and just using them as kind of normal entertainment music, wedding music, whatever.
OK, before we get started on this, can we just remind ourselves how this rhythm works? You've got 1, dum, bum, 2, dum, dum.
For the young musicians at Queen Elizabeth Girls' School, learning to play klezmer music also meant learning to play new rhythms.
One of the pieces we've worked with them has been called a hora. It's a particular kind of rhythm that this piece has, and it's characteristic of this Eastern European, Romanian type of music. And it's rather like a waltz. There are 3 beats in a bar, except with a hora, the special thing about it is that the 3rd beat is very slightly anticipated. It's slightly ahead of where it should be, and so you've got to work out exactly where to put it. And it's great fun actually working with people, because you can teach them how to play out of time, which is always a great treat. But they've all got to play out of time together, and it just swings the rhythm in a particular way that gives its characteristic flavour, keeps the rhythm on the edge of your seat all the time.
My name is Megan Dos Santos and I'm 15. In this project I'm playing bass guitar, but originally when I was going to play in this workshop I was going to be playing violin. Then the opportunity came up, they said that they could do with a bass line, and I thought I'll take the opportunity, because not only would I be playing bass, then I would also be able to get help from professionals. I've been doing music for a long time, and to be able to play alongside professionals is something that an opportunity you always sort of look for. Because they've been playing for so long, they know what they're doing, and in the end of the day they want you to enjoy it too, and so you're just able to have a more fulfilling experience.
My name's Fernanda Lake, I'm 16 years old and I go to Queen Elizabeth Girls' School. This music's really interesting to play because you can, with the improvisation that I'm doing as well, you listen to yourself playing at the scale, you just go along the scale and it sounds right. And you can just play anything you like within that scale and it just sounds like someone's written it for you and you just sound so professional playing it. I think when you go back to playing in the orchestra, you've got more confidence playing because you've played this and you've played it right. And it just sounds so easy.
My name's Rosie Hempstead, I'm 14 and I go to Queen Elizabeth's Girls' School. Before I did the workshop with the Burning Bush and the concert orchestra, I didn't know much about klezmer music, but now I think it's really interesting and I think it's great to learn about stuff from other cultures. It's made me a lot more confident in playing in front of others.
My name is Eleanor Hughes, I'm 12 years old and I go to Queen Elizabeth's Girls' School.
Playing klezmer music, it's not easy, but it's not hard because they're mostly chords, but you just have to work them out. Nigel, when he played, it was really good and I enjoyed it because he was like playing really loudly and doing all the dynamics and it sounded really good.
I'm Sophie Hiller, I'm 13 and I go to Kiwi Girls' School. I come from a Jewish background myself, but I didn't really know much about this type of music that we've been playing, so I found it quite interesting to find out about it. I like the style because it's very unique. It's not really like any other types of music that I've heard before. I think it will help me technically because I've learnt new things about improvising and following music, so I think it will help me, yeah.
My name's Vicky Thalmia, I'm 13 and I go to Kiwi Girls. You just kind of get lost in it, which they say you're not supposed to do, but it's very hard not to. You just forget about everyone else playing and just concentrate on what you're supposed to be playing.
The next time we play this piece will probably be at JFS School, and we'll have a very short time to rehearse it on the stage there before we actually perform it in front of people. So you need to know exactly what you're doing, have it written down.
I think with professional musicians coming in, it's been quite exciting because I've never done anything like it before, and it's been really fun and interesting, learning new styles.
I'm looking forward to it because I always look forward to a chance to be able to play, but at the same time you are a bit nervous because, you know, you've got professionals, you've got other musicians listening to you, and if you're doing an improvised bit like me and Fernanda are, then, you know, there are bits where the spotlight is a bit more on you, and so you can get nervous, but you enjoy it, so you can let the music sort of...
Sometimes it helps to be nervous because you play a bit better when you're nervous, because you know you have to get it right.
Yeah, you concentrate.
Real Jews eat kofta and couscous. Real Jews eat chullet and kneedlach. Real Jews speak Ladino. Real Jews speak Ivrit. Real Jews speak a bissel Yiddish. Real Jews speak Arabic. Real Jews are Mizrahi. Real Jews Sephardi. Real Jews Ashkenazi.
In contrast to klezmer and Hasidic music, which both originated in the Jewish communities of Eastern Europe, Sephardic music has its origins in Spain. Sephardic music was very much influenced by Spanish song. Like klezmer, its origins stem from the cantor in the synagogue, but it has a very different sound.
This is an oud, which is the Middle Eastern lute. This particular one comes from Syria, although the instrument's played all over the Middle East. It's played from Morocco right the way along the north coast of Africa, and it's absolutely basic to all of the music of that area. And that is, of course, very relevant to the Jewish cultural and musical experience because of the Sephardi tradition. You know, the Sephardic Jews live in that part of the world. All of the Jewish communities around the world, they've always lived as minorities, and so their music always has the influence of the local surroundings.
This song is Avrish Bigalanika, and it's a song in the Ladino language, which is a form of Spanish. It's a kind of love song. The idea is that the young man is outside the door, he's trying to get into her house, and he's saying, "Open up, let me in." And she's always coming up with different excuses not to let him in. He never gets in at the end of the song either. We're left hanging there, we don't know what happens. It's quite a straightforward song structurally. You've got a tune which goes round and round, and what's particularly nice about it and gives them confidence working with a foreign language is a leader calls out the words line by line, and everybody else sings them straight back with the same tune, the same words.
Remember, Talmudic dictum. Remember, ache in commemoration. Remember, the secret of relief is remembrance.
Most of Leah Thorne's poetry centres around Jewish identity, and in this project, Leah's helped students at the Jewish Free School to produce their own poems about what it means to be Jewish. So as well as rehearsing Jewish songs for the concert, they've also got to put their own words to music.
Play please, do the verses, and we'll see how long it's going to take.
With such little time left, John's feedback is crucial.
Excellent, right. This is going to be good. This is going to be excellent. What we can do is just tidy it up a little bit. I think the idea of it, I like the way the music sort of stops and starts. So you've got this idea of going along the road. This is good.
It means quite a lot to me because I'm Jewish and it's part of my past and it's part of my dad's past. And so I've been brought up knowing that without people being strong at particular points, they wouldn't have been able to have survived. And music keeps people alive. It gives them hope, it gives them joy.
I'm Jewish and both my parents are Jewish. My grandpa, all his family was in Poland and he lost all his family.
I haven't really heard this music before, it's new to me. It's a different area, I think, of Jewish music that I haven't heard before, but I do quite like it and I feel there's a connection.
A bicycle has a bumpy and unsteady journey, but will always reach its destination.
A spoken word poet came into the school to help us with the project, and she gave us ideas just to kind of get inspiration from it, and we had to write for 4 minutes with just Jews are.
She was talking to us about how we would think of a Jew and how they would taste, or if they were a furniture, what would they be? If they were a journey, what would they be?
I came up with, I thought, a Jew is a bicycle, and we kind of just expanded on that.
We thought they had, for a journey, a bumpy and unsteady ride, whereas a bicycle will also have a bumpy and unsteady ride.
We were given the music and just thought to play about with it, improvise, see what we can do, different kind of chords, what goes best with the poem.
The other thing I'd like you to just think about is when she's reciting, because they're quite short things, can you keep your piano chord down?
With wheels easily torn, it is prepared to face any challenges ahead.
It was helpful having the musicians here to help us because they helped us with the way we should play the piano or the flute, and they gave us a good tune for the poem to be in, which is called La Rosa en Florence.
I've done a project once with klezmer music, but I don't really listen to it. It's not my kind of type of music. It's not something I'd go and buy, but it's something that I enjoy listening to. So it was a different experience to be able to play it with my instrument because I've never played it with a flute before. I'm quite daunted by the entire idea of two other schools, people that aren't Jewish, coming to hearing ideas that the group wrote that sometimes they might not agree with or they might not have thought of.
Really excited. So I've never done this thing before and looking forward to it, quite nervous but really looking forward to it.
A Jew is a bicycle on a busy motorway, made easily unstable by the surrounding cars. With wheels easily torn, it is prepared to face any challenge ahead. A bicycle has a bumpy and unsteady journey, but will always reach its destination. Whenever a car overtakes the bicycle, it is not disheartened. It strives towards its purpose. Some cars don't appreciate it being there. They assume it should be isolated to the back streets. It wants to be accepted but not changed. It wants to help, but this should not be one way.
Brilliant. Can we just try it again? And this time you're going to belt out the words. Right. Never mind the tune. Just we need words, lots and lots of words.
I've had some other workshops within school about klezmer music where we had to make up our own klezmer piece. Apart from that, I've never actually been associated with Jewish music apart from bar mitzvahs.
I think it's made us realise this whole project that
Jewish music isn't just traditional, it can be any style you want.
I mean, the only Jewish music that I properly knew, except for prayers, was like Fiddle on the Roof. And it definitely taught me a lot about Judaism.
The piece that we wrote is about a Jew who doesn't fit in with the people around him because they're non-Jewish, and he just feels a bit lonely and left out, and he can't find his way in life.
Blue is the word for sad. It represents a sad mood and not happy at all. And he's not happy, he's living a life which he's not happy with.
He's very proud to be Jewish, but he just doesn't feel that it's the right thing to do. He's kind of got a battle with himself, whether he wants to be Jewish and be alone or fit in with other people but give up his Jewish identity. We got a line in our song that says everyone walks on the other side when they see him, and that kind of conveys that people ignore him.
We had a creative writing piece where we just wrote for 4 minutes, and from that we drew out ideas, and we started using metaphors which worked nicely and made like a nice set of lyrics.
We started working out the tune on the piano with Lee messing around a bit, and put the drums to it, and then found something for Daniel to do on the trumpet, and we just put both trumpets together, which I thought worked really well.
Professional musicians have really opened my eyes to the range of which I can use my music, and also with writing lyrics as well, I didn't feel that confident about. So now I think the workshop was a very good idea, and it has helped me a lot.
The workshop, I think it did us good because we now have much more confidence, and working with the professional musicians, we can now see that we can progress from here, even become like them if we wanted to.
It's just weird that the fact that we're gonna just did it in an hour flat, the music, and now next week we're performing in front of hundreds of people.
I think we've got a nice tune. I think it works nicely and we can all play it properly. So, looking forward to it.
I think one of the reasons we're confident is because 2 weeks ago we had absolutely nothing, and now in 2 weeks we got this, so we've all been told it's good, so.
The blue Jew, why does he walk alone? Where does he go when everybody stares at him? Why? The blue Jew, what sets him apart? Why does everyone walk on the other side? He's the blue Jew. Why? The blue Jew, the wax on the candle, dripping away from society. He walks here, he walks there, but is he noticed? No, he's the blue Jew. The blue Jew, the wax on the candle, dripping away from society. He walks here, he walks there, but is he noticed? No, he's the blue Jew. He's the blue Jew.
Jews, 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 Jews.
I always wanted to be a composer, although I didn't really know what it was.
Composing, to me, is about musical creativity.
I became a composer through a slow
evolution, a slow development.
And I don't think composers are just, you know, those figures that you see on a piano like Ludwig van Beethoven, some remote character who wrote great symphonies.
Even my mother always said to me, contemporary music is such a difficult music to listen to. I mean, why do you write it? Who's going to listen to it? I mean, why don't you write music for which everybody loves? That's an eternal question.
I didn't think at the time that's how I'm going to earn my living, but I think it's something I just knew I would always do.
I see my job as the instigator of a piece of music, but it doesn't stop with me.
I wanted to write music, but I wanted to hear myself, and that's the thing that continues to inspire me to write my own music.
I'm always slightly doubtful of composers who say there is only one definitive performance of my piece, because I think that denies the ability of players to be able to take it further, which I firmly believe they do.
I think everybody who makes music, everybody who creates music, you know, you put something together